Hi, how are you? We're here with the Criminal Justice Program. This is Mr. Champion, and I'm Jonathan Gray from Southern California, representing the sophomore class here at Wiley. This is a mass communications movement with the Criminal Justice Department. Mr. Champion, we have an objective here at Wiley. Our objective here is to raise awareness. Mr. Champion, the world at large needs your advice. How can we pave the powerful path for those now that will come for generations later?
For those that will come generations later, that is a tremendous question. I think the key, as has always been in America, is education, and higher education more specifically, which targets itself and loans itself to the productivity of Afro-American, or should I say students of color, more so than the other races, simply because of the historical aspects of the underserving nature of college in relationship to persons of color.
I agree. Mr. Champion, how can the Criminal Justice Department be installed into into each of Wiley's major programs?
Well, understand there's always been a kind of a disconnect in terms of education and the social aspect of America. You go to college or you go to high school in preparation for college. They give you math, they give you science, they give you English, all of those basic things, but rarely ever are students exposed to the laws that govern their day-to-day lives.
Right.
Things that can change their lives in an overwhelming way in an instant. And often I've encountered young people who have been caught up in the criminal justice system simply because they did not know that what they were doing was a violation. So if we can incorporate some aspect of the justice system, it would be really great. We use a technique here now called debate across the various disciplines. And we try to install debate in every single discipline, and criminal justice will just about fit into any area of study perfectly, because everything is governed by what are the laws of the land.
Yeah. Okay, that's a very interesting point. The laws of the land. Are there avenues criminal justice graduates can take through Wiley, or even in Wiley's name, to further their career, or just to further themselves, or
That's really, right now, Wiley College is sitting in a perfect position to influence the justice system for the future. The person who is responsible for the current way that America does its policing, Mr. Lee P. Brown, who is the creator of the community policing era, has graciously loaned his name to this department, and we are commonly referred to as the Lee P. Brown Criminal Justice Institute. And if you look at current events going on today, you're seeing a move, and an immediate move on behalf of most major cities, to return to the community policing model that Mr. Brown had initiated some 20 years ago.
That's a very interesting point. Which brings me to, how are those students viewed, or how are these students viewed by those who are in authority? These that's taking our criminal justice programs, that's taking the Wiley criminal justice programs, that's taking the mass communications classes, that's taking, that's trying to progress themselves. How are they viewed by the elite, by the higher authority, by those who are over them?
Traditionally, Wiley College has enjoyed great accolades in terms of its academic successes. In not so recent or fairly recent past, the name has lost a little bit of the glamour that was attached. Particularly, I can recall about 14 years ago, whenever I came here, that it was very difficult to get Wiley College students into professional liaison type situations. When we tried to place people in internships, it was very difficult. Fortunately, we were able to mend some of those fences, and I think at this point we've mended all of those fences. And we're now currently placing students in some really spectacular placements. We've had students do anything from being with the city pound at that level of law enforcement to being researchers for Homeland Security. And I think that the program has grown tremendously. We went from being 13 students to being over 300 students in just under 10 years. So that in itself pretty much speaks to how well we've been able to mend those fences. And as a result, we now are placing students in employment in organizations that we previously had no hope of being able to do. So.
Okay. Well, with that being said, in the long run, we have an objective here at Wiley College, and our objective is to raise awareness.